Hey guys, Gradysmom here with volume 5 of my cooking series. This is for a turkey stuffed pepper. I am making more than I normally would, about double what I normally would, because I'm going to be freezing half. So I will show you that process as well when we're all finished. So in this case, I'm using 9 large bell peppers. So I have red, orange, and green. And what I've done is just hollowed them all out. You definitely want to take all of the white pith out and the seeds out. And I just do that by cutting a circle around the top, and then the stem will pull right out, and then you're going to want to remove all of the white pith as much as you can. And obviously all of the seeds, because you don't really want those mixing in with the filling. So again, I'm using 9 large bell peppers. We're going to need 2 pounds of ground turkey meat. Right here I have from Trader Joe's. You could use beef, but I find this recipe is really good and light with the ground turkey. You're going to need 2 cups of shredded cheese of your choice. I'm using cheddar, but also pepper jack is really good as well. You're going to need 1 standard size can of black beans. You're going to need some seasoned salt. If you don't have seasoned salt, you could use an all-purpose sort of seasoning or just salt and pepper if you don't have either of those. I'm using some enchilada sauce. I've also used a marinara sauce, so you could use that if you have that on hand, but just some kind of tomato-based sauce you're going to want to use. I'm going to use this Asian side dish rice. You can use white rice, you can use rice pilaf, you can use quinoa, any kind of rice or grain will work mixed in with the meat. I just happen to have this one, and it's easy and has a little bit more flavor than just your standard white or brown rice, so I'm going to use that. It's also very convenient. You're going to need some minced garlic, also fresh garlic, cloves chopped up or fine as well. And you're going to need 1 yellow or white cooking onion. I have about a medium one here. So I'm going to go ahead now and get my ground turkey in a huge pan and fry that all up, and then I'll show you guys how to assemble all of this. Okay guys, so on one burner I have a large skillet, and I have both 2 pounds of the turkey meat in here, as well as the diced up onion. I have my seasoned salt here. I'm going to go ahead and season it pretty well. And then I'm also going to take my minced garlic. Again, you can use fresh. And take about 1 nice heaping teaspoon like that. Again, this is 2 pounds of meat, so you have to keep in mind it's a good amount of meat. And then just kind of work that all in. And just break up the meat so everything cooks nice. I'm just going to let this do its thing and get brown. And the other pot on the stove next to it, I have my rice, which I just have going on a simmer. One of the Knorr mixes again. And just clean off my lens. I'm going to just keep working on the meat. And I have my black beans all drained and rinsed, and once the meat is almost done, I'm going to throw these in and just toss those around as well. And then we are going to add our enchilada sauce after the meat is cooked. So we are making progress. Alright guys, so the turkey is almost done, and I did notice I tried to move it to the side. If you guys can see, there is some fat here. Normally turkey doesn't have a lot of fat, and I know some of the liquid is from the liquid that came off the onions, but I don't want all of that in my mixture. So I'm going to go ahead and drain this, and I just use a pasta strainer, and I just put it right in the pasta strainer. Just because, again, I don't want all that extra fat in the mixture. So I'm just going to let this hang out in here and drain. So all that extra fat is out, and then I have an empty canvas to work with. And then I'm going to put my turkey. See, all that fat's coming out, which is good because I don't want that extra liquid in there, especially fat. So I'm letting that drain out, if you can see on the bottom. And you would definitely want to do this with beef, no question. Normally with turkey, you never know. Sometimes you get a batch that's doesn't really have enough fat to bother draining, but this one did, so that's why I just wanted to show you that. I'm just kind of tilting the colander a little bit to get any extra little fat drippings out. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get the turkey back in. Kind of even that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my black beans. This is 1 can. Add those right in. Tons of protein in there. And then I'm gonna grab my enchilada sauce. First I'm gonna toss this around a little bit, and then I will add my sauce and show you how quickly the color changes so nicely. Okay, so my black beans are incorporated. This is a 12-ounce bottle of enchilada sauce. So I'm gonna start by adding a good chunk of it in. Again, the beans are already in here. I'm gonna turn my heat way down because this meat's all cooked. So I'm just gonna fold this in and then kind of gauge. I think that was about half the bottle, give or take, just by eyeballing it. And you definitely want it to be moist because turkey meat is a little bit on the drier side, especially compared to beef. It's a lot more healthy, obviously. In the meantime, my rice is done, so I'm gonna turn the heat off on that. I'm gonna get the top off. Then I'm gonna move my rice back there, guys, off the heat. So again, back to my turkey. Just gonna fold the sauce in. It looks like it's definitely gonna need more sauce, but we wanna fold all of this in first. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I have the exhaust fan on low, just so my lens doesn't keep fogging up. So yes, we definitely need some more. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the sauce. Why not? Because with the rice in here, it's gonna soak up some of that as well. So I'm just gonna keep working this in, same way that I'm doing now, sort of a folding motion, getting all the meat coated, and I will show you what the consistency is supposed to look like before we go ahead and add our rice. Okay, so it's all incorporated in. I did use the whole bottle. So again, this is a 12-ounce bottle. This is for 2 pounds of meat though. I don't think I've ever made this recipe doubled. So usually I've just done it with 1 pound of turkey meat and 6 ounces of enchilada sauce or marinara sauce. So that's why I just wanted to make sure by adding only half at first to kind of gauge how much more I would need. So this is what it looks like. At this point you can turn your heat off because it's fully cooked, and these are going to finish off in the oven anyways. So now I'm going to go ahead and add this rice that's fully cooked, kind of waiting in the wings, directly on top of here, and then kind of mix that all together, and then we're going to add our cheese and stuff our peppers. Okay guys, so let me show you what I have going on here. I have my turkey rice bean sauce mixture here in this big pot. I have my cheese that I decided not to add in with the mixture, and I will tell you and show you guys why in just a minute. My peppers I have chilling, and I have 2 that I have stuffed already, and I am going to show you guys how I stuff them. So let me just finish this one off really quick by topping it with cheese. I remembered making these last time and thinking and saying to myself, don't put the cheese in until you stuff the peppers, meaning don't put the cheese in there. And it was because it gets too melty and goopy, and it gets kind of stuck all over the pan, and you end up losing some of it when it's getting all stuck like that. So I'm gonna try it this way, and I'm pretty sure this is how my mom does it. And again, I will show you how I stuff them in just a moment. So 2 down, and we have the rest to go. Let me go ahead and get my tripod set up and show you how you're going to want to stuff them. Okay guys, so first what you're going to want to do is you're going to take a scoop of your mixture, and you're going to scoop it in almost about halfway to the halfway point. Fill it up halfway. Doesn't have to be exactly halfway, obviously, but just do a nice little scoop like that. Then you're going to want to take your cheese and do a nice big handful, and then stuff your cheese down on top of that layer that's up to the middle. Some of it's escaping. Okay, and then kind of use your spoon to push that down a little bit. And then you're going to want to do more of the mixture. And again, push it down gently. They can take the abuse. So gently like that. Okay, and then more cheese on top. So again, it's going to be the mixture, a layer of cheese, more mixture, and then more cheese, because the layer of cheese on top will get nice and crispy and bubbly in the oven. So I have 3 down. I'm going to go ahead and show you one more, just so you get the idea. It's pretty simple, and these are so good. I already want to take a spoon and eat some of the mixture. tastes and smells so good. So again, about halfway, give or take, push it down a little bit. And then I have my cheese going in the middle, like that. And then more meats, like that. Push it down a little bit. And then more cheese. Don't be shy to push that cheese right down, because the mixture is still nice and warm, so it'll get nice and kind of bonded. So that looks pretty yummy. I'm gonna go ahead off camera and keep making these peppers the same exact way. And then I will show you guys how I freeze half and how the other half look when you cook them. Okay, so here are 5 beauties and here are 4 beauties. And it was just enough meat. I had like a little bit of meat mixture left over, not even enough for like a serving, so I'm just gonna eat it. So I have 5 here, 4 here. For dinner tonight, I'm gonna cook these up. I'm just gonna cover them with foil and make a couple slits in the foil so any steam can escape. And these will bake at around 350 for about 35 minutes. And these 4 here, I actually took, they're all big peppers, but I took some of the bigger ones. And again, I made sure to get all the peppers are big. Some of them are freakishly big, especially this one. But anyways, now I'm gonna show you how I wrap these up and put them in the freezer, how I label it. And then this, believe it or not, even though it's 4 peppers, will be enough for my husband and I to have a whole nother dinner. I'll just obviously have to make things on this, something on the side. But I'm going to show you how I package these up to go in the freezer for the best possible result when I take them out and actually cook them down the road. Okay guys, so I have my peppers, I have my aluminum foil, Reynolds wrap, and then I have some saran wrap as well as some of the big gallon Ziploc bags. And these are the ones with a real nice freezer seal. So you're going to want to wrap each pepper individually. I know that seems kind of annoying or monotonous, but if you don't want your food, anything you're freezing, to get freezer burnt, you're going to want to take this method. So I'm just going to lay my saran wrap out. And you're going to want to keep everything standing up, obviously, until it's wrapped. So I'm going to go ahead and get this first pepper wrapped up real tight, securing the top first so that the filling can't fall out. So it's real tight like that. Okay, so that is the first one in saran wrap. I think I'm going to do saran wrap all of them first, sort of like an assembly line. So again, we're going to get our saran wrap laid out, our pepper standing up. Make sure all the saran wrap goes over like that. Again, securing the filling so that the filling, isn't loose. So the first 2 look like that. Third one. It's definitely important to do stuff like this, guys, when you're freezing pretty much any kind of thing that you're going to have as a meal down the road, because nobody wants that freezer burnt taste, especially on something, that you took the time to prepare ahead of time. You want it to taste like you just prepared it, not like it's been sitting in the freezer for a month. So last one. Again, you're going to want to secure the top first, nice and tight, and then wrap the sides nice and tight. Okay, so the 4 peppers are all saran wrapped. Next, we're going to do step 2, which is aluminum foil. So I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to kind of do the same thing. Secure the top first, and then the sides, and then gently you're just going to press it down so it's nice and tight like that. So that one's ready to go in the bag. The 2 layers, meaning the saran wrap being 1 layer and the foil being another, I have just found I've had the best luck with freezing things. Mainly, I'm talking about things like this that I'm making ahead of time. I sometimes make a couple different variations of mini meatloaf. So I have my first two in there. So when I make my mini meatloaf, sometimes I make them muffin shaped, and sometimes I make them in like little banana bread pans. And when I remove them from the pan or the muffin tin, I wrap them the same way with saran wrap and aluminum foil, that double layer. And every time I've done that, I've just always noticed that when I make it, it tastes nice and fresh, like I just made it. So it looks like I might be able to get all 4 in this bag. I don't know for sure yet. The aluminum foil definitely bulks the pepper up, obviously. So again, as you can see, these don't have to be perfect, just as long as they're nice and secure. So let's see if I can get all of these in here. Might be able to. Yes, looks like I'll be able to. So that is, hopefully you guys can see that, what it looks like. Let me go ahead and seal it up nice and tight. Make sure I hear all that zipper sound. So that is what it looks like in the bag. You're only gonna need 1 bag, but make sure, again, it's sealed tight. So on this bag, on all the Ziploc bags, there's this little triangle to write. So I'm gonna go grab a Sharpie and just label it, and then in the freezer she will go. Okay guys, so I just labeled, everybody has different ways, but I just labeled 4 large stuffed peppers, bake 350, 35 minutes. Obviously it would have been a lot easier to write it before I put the peppers in the bag. But yeah, I always wanna put the number of items that are in the bag, just because for certain things, if I wrap like 2 in 1 bundle, if that makes sense, I wanna make sure it's clear how many items are in here. That way, if I'm making something in particular, there's no surprises. I know exactly how many little bundles I have to pull out. And then I already know in my mind to bake it at 350 for 35 minutes, but I just put that to show you guys if you're making something new that you may not know off the top of your head, the bake time and the temperature. So these beauties, this bag is so heavy, are going right in the freezer like that. And they'll be good to go there for a while, actually. Just gonna move everything around, make sure they're laying nice and flat. And these should be good in there for up to 3 months, although we will probably eat them in the next probably month. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I freeze those, and I will show you how the other batch looks when they come out of the oven. Okay, so they just came out of the oven. It took about 35 minutes on 350, and they look really good. So I think I'm gonna cut into one and show you guys how good they look inside, but this is what they look like when they first come out. So there's like that middle layer of cheese that all is running through the center. So I cut it open. I think we're gonna have 2 each, even though they're pretty big, and then on the side we're gonna have a salad. So let me go ahead and get this plated and show you what it looks like. Okay, so we're gonna have 2 each of the stuffed peppers, and then we're gonna have a salad on the side, and I'm just having some ice water with mine. This is our dinner for tonight. I hope you guys really enjoyed this recipe. They were really easy to make. It does take a little bit of time, but once you have everything cooked, all it is a matter of getting the peppers stuffed in the oven. And these are also a really good dish to freeze or make ahead of time, as you guys saw. So again, I hope you enjoyed this volume 5, and have a great day. I'll see you guys all very soon. Bye.